The tiger is the largest living cat species and a member of the genus Panthera. It is most recognizable for its dark vertical stripes on orange fur with a white underside. An apex predator, it primarily preys on ungulates such as deer and wild boar. It is territorial and generally a solitary but social predator, requiring large contiguous areas of habitat, which support its requirements for prey and rearing of its offspring. Tiger cubs stay with their mother for about 2 years, then become independent and leave their mother's home range to establish their own. The tiger was first scientifically described in 1758 and once ranged widely from the eastern Anatolia region in the west to the Amur River basin in the east, and in the south from the foothills of the Himalayas to Bali in the Sunda Islands. Since the early 20th century, tiger populations have lost at least 93% of their historic range and have been extirpated from Western and Central Asia, the islands of Java and Bali, and in large areas of Southeast and South Asia and China. Today, the tiger's range is fragmented, stretching from Siberian temperate forests to subtropical and tropical forests on the Indian subcontinent, Indochina and Sumatra. The tiger is listed as endangered on the UN Red List. As of 2015, the global wild tiger population was estimated to number between 3,062 and 3,948 mature individuals, with most of the populations living in small isolated pockets. India currently hosts the largest tiger population. Major reasons for population decline are habitat destruction, habitat fragmentation and poaching. Tigers are also victims of human-wildlife conflict, particularly in range countries with a high human population density. The tiger is among the most recognizable and popular of the world's charismatic megafauna. It featured prominently in the ancient mythology and folklore of cultures throughout its historic range, and continues to be depicted in modern films and literature, appearing on many flags, coats of arms and as mascots for sporting teams. The tiger is the national animal of India, Bangladesh, Malaysia, and South Korea. The Middle English tigre and Old English tigre is derived from Old French tigre, from Latin tigris. This was a borrowing of classical Greek tau gamma rho iota sigma tigris, a foreign borrowing of unknown origin meaning tiger and the river Tigris. 4. The origin may have been the Persian word tigra meaning pointed or sharp, and the Avestan word tigri arrow, perhaps referring to the speed of the tiger's leap. Although these words are not known to have any meanings associated with tigers. The generic name Panthera is derived from the Latin word panthera, and the ancient Greek word pi nu theta eta rho panther. 6. The Sanskrit word pandra means pale yellow, whitish, white. Following Linnaeus's first descriptions of the species, several tiger specimens were described and proposed as subspecies. 11. The validity of several tiger subspecies was questioned in 1999. Most putative subspecies described in the 19th and 20th centuries were distinguished on basis of fur length and coloration, striping patterns and body size, hence characteristics that vary widely within populations. Morphologically, tigers from different regions vary little, and gene flow between populations in those regions is considered to have been possible during the Pleistocene. Therefore, it was proposed to recognize only 2 tiger subspecies, namely P. T. tigris in mainland Asia, and P. T. sundaica in the Greater Sunda Islands. Results of craniological analysis of 111 tiger skulls from Southeast Asian range countries indicate that Sumatran tiger skulls differ from Indo-Chinese and Javan tiger skulls, whereas Bali tiger skulls are similar in size to Javan tiger skulls. The authors propose to classify the Sumatran and Javan tigers as distinct species, P. sumatri and P. sundaica, with the Bali tiger as subspecies P. sundaica balica. In 2015, morphological, ecological, and molecular traits of all putative tiger subspecies were analyzed in a combined approach. Results support distinction of the 2 evolutionary groups continental and Sunda tigers. The authors proposed recognition of only 2 subspecies, namely P. T. tigris comprising the Bengal, Malayan, Indo-Chinese, South Chinese, Siberian and Caspian tiger populations, and P. T. sundaica comprising the Javan, Bali and Sumatran tiger populations. The authors also noted that this reclassification will affect tiger conservation management. The nominate subspecies P.T. tigris constitutes two clades. A northern clade composed of the Siberian and Caspian tiger populations, a southern clade composed of all other mainland populations. One conservation specialist welcomed this proposal as it would make captive breeding programs and future rewilding of zoo-born tigers easier. One geneticist was skeptical of this study and maintained that the currently recognized 9 subspecies can be distinguished genetically. 15. In 2017, the Cat Classification Task Force of the Yukon Cat Specialist Group revised felid taxonomy and recognized the tiger populations in continental Asia as P.T. tigris, and those in the Sunda Islands as P.T. sundaica. 16. This two-subspecies view has been largely rejected by researchers. Results of a 2018 whole genome sequencing of 32 specimens support 6 myophyletic tigers living in the wild. Now today, you can see that the numbers have increased from that time, but they are still low. Generally speaking, and the tigers living in the wild. Now today, if you just top 5 you can see that the numbers have increased from that time, but they are still low. The Chinese mentality choose their power and their vitality and their beauty, but unfortunately that doesn't work and which are unique in each individual. 5124. Stripes are likely advantageous for camouflage in vegetation such as long grass with strong vertical patterns of light and shade. The tiger is one of only a few striped cat species. It is not known why spotted patterns and rosettes are the more common camouflage pattern among felids. The orange color may also aid in camouflage as the tiger's prey are dichromates, and thus may perceive the cat as green and blended in with the vegetation. A tiger's coat pattern is still visible when it is shaved. This is not due to skin pigmentation, but to the stubble and hair follicles embedded in the skin. It has a mane-like heavy growth of fur around the neck and jaws and long whiskers, especially in males. The pupils are circular with yellow irises. The small, rounded ears have a prominent white spot on the back, surrounded by black. These spots are thought to play an important role in intraspecific communication. The tiger's skull is similar to a lion's skull, with the frontal region usually less depressed or flattened, and a slightly longer postorbital region. The lion's skull shows broader nasal openings. Due to the variation in skull sizes of the two species, the structure of the lower jaw is a reliable indicator for their identification. The tiger has fairly stout teeth. Its somewhat curved canines are the longest among living felids with a crown height of up to 90 mm. 3.5 in. The tiger historically ranged from eastern Turkey and Transcaucasia to the coast of the Sea of Japan, and from South Asia across Southeast Asia to the Indonesian islands of Sumatra, Java, and Bali. Since the end of the last glacial period, it was probably restricted by periods of deep snow lasting longer than 6 months. Currently, it occurs in less than 6% of its historical range, as it has been extirpated from Southwest and Central Asia, while its status in the Korean peninsula is unknown. The tiger is essentially associated with forest habitats. Tiger populations thrive where populations of wild cervids, bovids and suids are stable. Records in Central Asia indicate that it occurred foremost in tuggy riverine forests along the Atrak, Almudaria, Sirdaria, Hari, Chuandili rivers and their tributaries. In the Caucasus, it inhabited hilly and lowland forests. Historical records in Iran are known only from the southern coast of the Caspian Sea and adjacent Elborz Mountains. 73. In the Amur-Ushuri region, it inhabits Korean pine and temperate broadleaf and mixed forests, where riparian forests. On the Indian subcontinent, it inhabits mainly tropical and subtropical moist broadleaf forests, moist evergreen forests, tropical dry forests and the swamp forests of the Sundarbans. In the eastern Himalayas, tigers were documented in temperate forest up to an elevation of 4,200 meters, 13,800 feet, In Bhutan and of 3,630 meters, 11,910 feet, in the Mishmi Hills. In Thailand, it lives in deciduous and evergreen forests. In Laos, 14 tigers were documented in semi-evergreen and evergreen forest interspersed with grassland in Namet Pului National Protected Area during surveys from 2013 to 2017. 79. In Sumatra, tiger populations range from lowland peat swamp forests to rugged montane forests. Tiger social and daily activities. When not subject to human disturbance, the tiger is mainly diurnal. It does not often climb trees, but cases have been recorded. It is a strong swimmer and often bathes in ponds, lakes and rivers, thus keeping cool in the heat of the day. Individuals can cross rivers up to 7 kilometers, 4.3 miles, wide and can swim up to 29 kilometers, 18 miles, in a day. During the 1980s, a tiger was observed frequently hunting prey through deep lake water in Ranthambore National Park. The tiger is a long-ranging species, and individuals disperse over distances of up to 650 kilometers, 400 miles, to reach tiger populations in other areas. Radio-collared tigers in Chigwang National Park started dispersing from their natal areas earliest at the age of 19 months. 4 females dispersed between 0 and 43.2 kilometers, 0.0 and 26.8 miles, and 10 males between 9.5 and 65.7 kilometers, 5.9 and 40.8 miles. None of them crossed open cultivated areas that were more than 10 kilometers, 6.2 miles, wide, but moved through forested habitats. Adult tigers lead largely solitary lives. They establish and maintain territories but have much wider home ranges within which they roam. Resident adults of either sex generally confine their movements to their home ranges, within which they satisfy their needs and those of their growing cubs. Individuals sharing the same area are aware of each other's movements and activities. The size of the home range mainly depends on prey abundance, geographic area and sex of the individual. In India, home ranges appear to be 50 to 1,000 square kilometers, 19 to 386 square miles, while in Manchuria, they range from 500 to 4,000 square kilometers, 190 to 1,540 square miles. In Nepal, defended territories are recorded to be 19 to 151 square kilometers, 7.3 to 58.3 square miles, for males and 10 to 51 square kilometers, 3.9 to 19.7 square miles, for females. Young female tigers establish their first territories close to their mothers. The overlap between the female and her mother's territory reduces with time. Males, however, migrate further than their female counterparts
and set out at a younger age to mark out their own area. Then male acquires territory either by seeking out an area devoid of other male tigers or by living as a transient in another male's territory until he is older and strong enough to challenge the resident male. Young males seeking to establish themselves thereby comprise the highest mortality rate, 30-35% per year, amongst adult tigers. To identify his territory, the male marks trees by spraying urine, anal gland secretions, marking trails with feces and marking trees or the ground with their claws. Males also use these scrapes, urine and fecal markings. Scent markings of this type allow an individual to pick up information on another's identity, sex and reproductive status. Females in oestrus will signal their availability by scent marking more frequently and increasing their vocalizations. Although for the most part avoiding each other, tigers are not always territorial and relationships between individuals can be complex. An adult of either sex will sometimes share its kill with others, even with unrelated tigers. George Schaller observed a male share a kill with 2 females and 4 cubs. Unlike male lions, male tigers allow females and cubs to feed on the kill before the male is finished with it. All involved generally seem to behave amicably, in contrast to the competitive behavior shown by a lion pride. 90 Stephen Mills described a social feeding event in Ranthambore National Park. A dominant tigress they called Padmini killed a 250 kg, 550 lb male nilgaye, a very large antelope. They found her at the kill just after dawn with her 3 14-month-old cubs, and they watched uninterrupted for the next 10 hours. During this period, the family was joined by 2 adult females and 1 adult male, all offspring from Padmini's previous litters, and by 2 unrelated tigers, 1 female, the other unidentified. By 3 o'clock there were no fewer than 9 tigers round the kill. Male tigers are generally less tolerant of other males within their territories than females are of other females. Territory disputes are usually solved by intimidation rather than outright violence, and forced through an open mouth as it progressively closes, and the shorter, harsher coughing roar is made with the mouth open and teeth exposed. The true roar can be heard at up to 3 km, 1.9 mi, away and is sometimes emitted 3 or 4 times in succession. When tense, tigers will moan, a sound similar to a roar but more subdued and made when the mouth is partially or completely closed. Moaning can be heard 400 m, 1300 ft away. Shuffling soft, low-frequency snorting similar to purring in smaller cats is heard in more friendly situations. 92 other vocalizations include grunts, woofs, snarls, yaws, hisses and growls. Hunting and diet in the wild, tigers mostly feed on large and medium-sized mammals, particularly ungulates weighing 60 to 150 kg. 135-150 lb, the most significantly preferred species are sambar deer, wapiti, barasingha, and wild boar. Tigers are capable of taking down larger prey like adult boar and wild water buffalo, but will also opportunistically eat much smaller. Several such incidents have been observed in which the subordinate tiger yielded by rolling onto its back and showing its belly in a submissive posture. Once dominance has been established, a male may tolerate a subordinate within his range as long as they do not live into close quarters. The most serious disputes tend to occur between 2 males competing for a female in oestrus, sometimes fighting to the death. Tiger in Kanha National Park showing feminine facial expressions include the defense threat, where an individual bares its teeth, flattens its ears and its pupils enlarge. Both males and females show a phlegmine response, a characteristic grimace, when sniffing urine markings. But phlegmine is more often associated with males detecting the markings made by tigresses in oestrus. Like other Panthera, tigers roar, particularly in aggressive situations during the mating season or when making a kill. There are 2 different roars. The true roar is made using the hyoid apparatus. Prey such as monkeys, peafowl and other ground-based birds, hares, porcupines, and fish. They also prey on other predators, including dogs, leopards, pythons, bears, and crocodiles. Tigers generally do not prey on fully grown adult Asian elephants and Indian rhinoceros. Incidents have been reported. More often, it is the more small cows that are taken. 98 When in close proximity to humans, tigers will also sometimes prey on such domestic livestock as cattle, horses, and donkeys. Although almost exclusively carnivorous, tigers will occasionally eat vegetation for dietary fibers such as fruit of the slow match tree. Dentition of tiger above and of Asian black bear below, the large canines are used for killing and the carnassials for tearing flesh. Tigers are thought to be mainly nocturnal predators, but in areas where humans are absent, remote-controlled. Hidden camera traps recorded them hunting in daylight. They generally hunt alone and ambush. They prey as most other cats do, overpowering them from any angle, using their body size and strength to knock the prey off balance. Successful hunts usually require the tiger to almost simultaneously leap onto its quarry, knock it over, and grab the throat or neck with its teeth. 83. Despite their large size, tigers can reach speeds of about 49-65 km/h, 30-40 mph, with only in shallow bursts. Consequently, tigers must be close to their prey before they break cover. If the prey senses the tiger's presence before this, the tiger usually abandons the hunt rather than give chase or battle pre-alerted prey. Horizontal leaps of up to 10 m, 33 ft have been reported, although leaps of around half this distance are more typical. 1 into 220 hunts, including stalking near potential prey, ends in a successful kill when hunting larger animals. Tigers prefer to bite the throat and use their powerful forelimbs to hold onto the prey, simultaneously wrestling it to the ground.